All right. Thank you. Thank you, Creator. Thank you for another opportunity. Thank you, Creator, for another opportunity to try to be a light while I'm in this reality. Thank you so much. Brethren, joining me, Elijah, Brother John's music. I don't know who you are, but you're welcome. Thank you for joining me. I don't know if you know what this channel is all about. This is a channel where I'm just a brother. I'm a servant. Try to minister to my brothers and sisters in the spirit. They're called faithists. That's a new Bible, a new revelation from the Creator. It exposes religion. It clarifies the Creator as opposed to gods, lords, and angels, some righteous. Okay, you know. All right. Good. Okay. Welcome, brother. Good to see you. Glad you're here. All right. My name is Yaquab Ben Yisrael. Thank you for joining me. I want to give thanks to the Creator, for another opportunity to be a light while I'm in this reality, this channel. I try to have fellowship with other OAHSPE brethren, Baptist brethren who can subscribe to the OAHSPE Bible. This is like just a meeting place. And then I try to share a little bit from the Word, and try to read a little bit, try to spark discussion among brethren. I invite brethren to come on the room, and if you want to share or you want to testify or you want to use the room to anything, reach out to brethren and that sort of thing. That's what the channel is for. So welcome. I came across something that gave yet another warning about Jesus Christ. I'd never seen it before in the OAHSPE. So I'm going to talk about it. Very controversial. This is a room. This is a channel. I have to admit, man, it's not for everybody. You know, anything that's new, it always has a hard, you know, we live in a reality. We live in a society where there's a heavy normalcy bias, where we're not really good at dealing with things that we ain't used to hearing about. That's what makes the sons and daughters of the Creator a miracle to me, is that they're able to put away the traditions and the normalcy. You know what? I learned a lesson, man. I want to share. I just want to share, man, what I that's another reason for my channel. I like to share. I believe that the Creator, that he works with, he influences us, that he gives us experiences. You know, there's a verse in the OAHSPE where it says that everything is a door to the Creator. Meaning you can learn from anything and everything, right? And today I was just thinking, one of the major issues with the OAHSPE, you know, it's like people always look for a reason to fight. I discovered that people always look for a way to fight. You know that? I give you an example. Like talking to a Muslim brother, and immediately he wanted to find out where the problem was. Immediately wanted to find out where the problem was, looking for something to pick at so he could, you know, start arguing about the differences. And I was like, hey, man, you know, it ain't no thing, you know? There ain't no thing between us. The thing that the OAHSPE gets down on is deity worship. That's the only issue right there. But he just wouldn't have it, man. He just had to have something. He had to find something to fight about. You know, my mind was like, hey, why can't we just be brethren? We both want to do what's right in the spirit. You know, it shouldn't be no thing between any of the quote unquote faiths. The only thing the OAHSPE really is calling you to do is get away from deity worship. Get away from that, man. Get away from deity, idolatry worship. I'm going to be reading about that in the reading at the top of the hour. Up until then, I usually just give a little monologue and, you know, try to open it up and see if anybody want to come in and share anything. But I like to try to treat this channel like a little town hall where, you know, at any time I'm doing the talking. If brother come in and he wants to share or talk about anything, I'll stop. Let him have the floor, you know, or I'll play devil's advocate if a brother want me to, or I'll play reader. If a brother want me to he want to bring something out, you need me to read it, you know. My name is Jaquab, I'm Israel, and I'm your servant. I'm a servant to my brethren. That's how I like to look at myself. I pray for forgiveness for the mistakes I make on video, my understanding at times. I'm just trying to do the best I can, not trying to be better than anybody. I believe that the Creator has had grace, mercy on me to brought me into the knowledge of the OAHSPE, and I'm forever grateful. Because, and see, that's another thing too, man. You know, wow, the way people get stuck focusing on differences, looking for a fight, man. Always We live in a reality that's just got to have some conflict somewhere. Got to have some conflict somewhere. We treat everything like everything has got to be a competition. Really, the OAHSPE is making it so that brethren come together, not separate, no matter what religion. Really, OAHSPE is calling their brethren to come together. It's just that the only thing Creator really seemed to point out to me, just whatever you do, don't have deity worship. Do not worship anything born of a woman. And like I said, when I go into the reading, I'm gonna let the Creator say it Himself. Why, if you want to do that, and see, also I want to make a little announcement too. I'm opening up a room on Pal Talk. I'm gonna go ahead and open up a little room on Pal Talk. Ouch, 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 ouch. Burnt my hand trying to pick up this incense that fell. I'm opening up a little room on Pal Talk. It's called OAHSPE Study Group or something like that. Matter of fact, I can go to a room where I put the link in it. And it's just going to be another place that brethren can come to where we can have fellowship with one another. Now, I plan to do it from like 12 to 2. Let me see if I can find it. I put it in one of the rooms as an invite. Let me see. I thought I put it in this room. I don't see it anywhere. So it's just a room. If you know what Pal Talk is, it's a program, chat room, bunch of chat room people. They put their topic, they put their interest in there, and other people who are interested, they come and they have a talk. And now I thought I put it in here. I guess I didn't. Maybe it's in another chat room, another Facebook room. Let's see. Where brethren can come. Here it is right here. So it's just a room. It's on Pal Talk. And for you brethren, if you're in the room already, it's you click on that right there. I'm going to be uploading it into the room every now and then, every so often. So brethren can have another option and we can come in and we can have fellowship with one another. Talk to one another. I'm real big on brethren being able to talk to one another, speak our own language, because we speak our own language. So the room is called OAHSPE Study Group on Pal Talk. If you download it, you go to the religion and spirituality section. I'm going to open it from 12 to 2 every day and see if it flies. Give it a time, give it a little while, see if it flies. If brethren come in and, we talk, or maybe I may change the time or maybe open it on the weekends, and I'm going to decide as time goes on. Now, another thing real quick I want to share, like I was saying, people love to fight instead of just fellowship around the commonalities of the faith. Just got to find some difference, and then focus on that. And so, talking with some Muslim dude, I was like, man, hey, there's no issue between us. If you just doing what you think is right. The OAHSPE, the real big issue with it, the number one issue with the OAHSPE in my book that separates it from quote unquote religion is whatever you do not be involved with deity worship. You get involved with deity worship, you're going to pay a price. I know I sound like a broken record, but I believe the Creator has given it to me till the cows come home. Warn anybody who will listen. If you are involved with deity worship, you have some problems. Now, lately, I've been talking about the home care nurse who comes by, and I really love her a lot, because she got an independent mind. She's an Aquarius. Really got her own mind, but she cannot hear. She cannot hear. Just like that Muslim. They can't just hear the message of the OAHSPE. You people can't even just hear. You can't even hear the logic behind the message. We ain't got, first thing with the OAHSPE, everybody, the first thing they do, they talk about John Ballou Newborough. I went on Pal Talk today. I thought I'd share, go to a different chat room, Christian chat rooms, and just see if I could find other faithists out there to talk to and let them know I'm going to open up a room for them and they can come. And so I was in one Pal Talk chat room and I said, I'm here to introduce the OAHSPE to anyone who's interested. It talks about, the major thing, what is it? It exposes religion. And we're in a time right now where the Creator is telling people to come out of her, like it says in Revelation chapter 18. And so if anybody's interested, I can be contacted and so on, blah, 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 right? Somebody came on, she had looked at it. She went online while I was talking, looked at it. And the first thing, for someone who's just fresh looking at it, I can understand any objections when, they start reading about John Ballou Newborough and, automatic writing and how he was unfaithful to his wife and he was a Mason and, all the things that I'm used to people hearing everywhere I look. That's the first thing, to focus on the messenger. Will not look at the message. Will not look at the message. And the brother was asking me, well, how do you know it's the word of, the word of God? And I was like, man, I usually say to people, can you hear your father's voice? I mean, your earthly father, your mother, And they say, yeah. And I say, I can hear my father's voice, and so can my brothers and sisters. We can even close our eyes, and all the Creator got to do is start talking to us. Or we can open a book, and we can read and see where our Father is. We can see the Creator. See? But if you want to get stuck talking to me about particulars and scientific facts and historical, fact, you want to get stuck on that? Hey, be my guest. I'm not there. I can hear I can hear his voice when he's talking to me. And the Creator, he talks about things that only a creator could know. See? And that's part of the message. But people don't want that. They want to, who wrote it? Oh, man wrote it, white man wrote it, and they get stuck there. And, the Creator, he said that, there's somewhere in the OAHSPE where the Creator, he says that they preach my shortness. You preaching his shortness, man, It don't matter who got the message. The message is what matters. And if it ain't got no anointing on you, then I'm sorry to say, it's not for you, brother. It's not for you. If you don't want to, if you at least don't want to hear what the Creator, see, that's another thing too, man. When people, they talk about, like I was talking with the home care lady. She said, I am a daughter. I am, the Father is my Father. Everybody wants to claim the Creator. And that's cool. I don't blame you. But then, she talks about the Bible. And I share with her, what? There's some wisdom in the Bible. I don't say throw it away. But that's not the Father. He doesn't claim the Bible as his word. Now, he uses it because there's some wisdom in it, and false gods, in order for them to gain captives and slaves, they better talk about some wisdom, because you're going to lose. You can't gravitate. There's no way to captivate the human mind, the human being, the sons and daughters, unless you throw some type of little bit of wisdom at us. We better be able to hear some otherworldly things or some facts or something that really, really resonates with us. And false gods, they give us enough of that in order to, and then they slip in the idolatry and deity worship. But it's too late. You're trapped. You're in deity worship. But the difference with the Creator, you open up his word. See, he will tell, look, All the information that's in the OAHSPE as compared to the Bible alone is enough to tell you what's coming, who the creator is, if you want to, but people never can think. It's amazing to me how you can't hear him. Do you know you can't hear the creator? Because if you, child or son or daughter, hey, Mahalia, hi, sister, good to see you, good to see you, good to see you, Mahalia. You got your cinnamon tea on you, Mahalia? I'm going to join you in the sip. Good to see you. But if you notice, man, I almost hate to say it, you hate this. If you notice, you talking to people, and the message ain't getting through. It can't get through. It's blocked. I'm talking about to religious people. Religious people. Oh, water? Okay, I got some water too. I'll join you in a sip of that later. You like that seltzer water, Mahalia? You like seltzer water? I got peach, orange vanilla, and let me see, peach and orange vanilla. That seltzer water, no calorie. The bubbly water. I've been getting away from it lately, though. I got this big 5-gallon jug of water behind me with the dispenser on the top of it. Make it a lot easier. Yeah. Sometimes. But I'm amazed. I'm thoroughly amazed when you're talking to people who say they know. They say they know. They read the Bible. They say they hear the Father. And I don't know, maybe I'm just too biased, man, because I read the OAHSPE, and the logic and the anointing is just so heavy. I don't see how you can miss it. Don't see how you can miss it. But then even though you see it, you read about it, you still can't see. Why don't you see that it's better that you serve a God or you serve a creator who absolutely forbids war? I mean, absolutely forbids it, period. Why can't you see that why don't you see that don't sound like the creator? Why do you got a problem with that? I was telling somebody, or actually, yeah, I was telling the home care lady that. I wasn't getting nowhere with her. I was telling her she was here. She was making, like, yeah, what you're saying is right. She treated me the other day. We got finished with, the bandaging she does for my legs. And then she wanted me to teach her a lesson, a small lesson. I mean, she ended up staying like 45 minutes after, her appointment with me when she was supposed to have been gone. And she wanted me to show her about Christianity and why it's deceptive. And so I did, and I was showing her, and the part that her poor soul just don't want to do is break with that beloved Jesus. I mean, she just don't want to, as she really sees him as the creator, and she just too afraid to break, a lot of people, they in that condition. You see where your faith has come in. See? You see how you are unique? Do you see how you can attain to the Father's voice? See? Ultimately, everybody's got to make a decision. That's what it boiled down to. Everybody's got to make a decision. OAHSPE force you to make a decision, whether you can hear, because when anybody says to me, you can hear you hear the Father's voice. to me, that means you can hear the OAHSPE. And if you say that you know, that you can hear the Father, yeah, I know she's going to get it. I know she's going to get it. I feel that way about it. Like, even when I was in Pal Talk today, a sister came up. She said, well, I don't know, while I was talking, she said, I don't know about this automatic writing. And see, the first thing they look at is John Blue Newborough. That's the first thing people look at. That's the first thing they look at, man, is John Blue Newborough. They know everything about him, nothing about what he wrote, I'm telling you, brethren, that's where they cannot deal. Why? We can't even sit down and reason, Now look here, see, your God, he condoned killing, See, my God, he says, don't ever even think about killing what I made alive. Don't that sound logical to you? That one part alone should sound logical to you, to make you think a question. Hey, Omian, brother Omian, let me join you in the sipping cinnamon tea, bro. Man, that stuff is so good. Put a little milk in there, a little vanilla extract. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Come back. Let me know when you got it. I'll join you for another sip. Yeah, I'm with you. He says, I can understand why they do sometimes. Me too. Crater, he really seemed to be showing me. He really teaching me a lesson, man. I'm sorry I'm redundant. Man. I learn. I look at people. I learn from them. I know that OAHSPE, it talks about a density, a darkness that comes on the land from time to time. I know that we in it right now. From what I could see, we in the Aegean forest. There's at least an overlap where you talking to people and they can't even, just, here the Creator is saying that my purpose for you is to make you a god and a goddess. That's his purpose for man. Why can't you hear that, man? Don't that sound good to you? Here the Creator is saying that you, the life that you live right now, it ain't absolutely nothing compared to what he has, the plans that he has for his children. Why don't it sound good to you, man, that all men are his children? Why don't you get it, man? And then you read the Bible, and what does it say? And all liars, all, what does it say? Liars, the ones that are cast into the lake of fire, What does the Bible say? It says, he that believeth not shall be damned. What does the Bible say? It says, kill women, children, and men. What does the Bible say? Happy shall he be that taketh thy little one and dashes him against the ground. You know what I mean? And it's too easy. That's where we live. And you would think that now even a child can make a good decision. Even a child can make a good decision as to what's right, what's wrong. And I'm being redundant. I know, brethren. I'm just saying that's where we live. That's where we live. You got brethren. You got faithists who can attain to his voice. You got faith that can attain to the voice of the Father. And it shouldn't be taken lightly. It should not be taken lightly, man. Now I know you brethren, if I may digress for a second. I don't know if you brethren heard about the attack. Remember the attack in Lebanon where Israel, they blew up cell phones and pagers, or they blew up pagers. You see how the world is beginning to encroach even in our world, how it's reaching even unto us so far as the possibility of the conflagration going on in the world, even touching us. I mean, it make you think. We looking at a situation where the Creator is letting man destroy himself. He's letting man destroy himself because he will not submit himself. He won't submit himself to searching for the Creator. He corrupts himself more and more. He's, the OAHSPE, I think I might have even shared it here in my room. Well, this is not my room. Let me go to my room. Where he said something like, if he don't progress, he will digress. He'll go backwards. He's got to go one way. A man's got to go one way or another. One way or another, man, But they cannot see the message, man. They can't. It seems like the first thing that people look for is a way to discredit what you're saying. A way to discredit what you're saying. Here's my room, my mom's food ministry. I target orphans, disabled, and elderly. If I find out there's a way for me to pitch in and help out, I can certainly be contacted. There's my contact info. Here's the name of my room and some of the things that I like to share. I like to read and then share things that I come across that I learn and share it with brethren. Now, here's a good one right here. See, I don't want to sound like I'm just constantly bagging on the Bible, man, But the Creator, he just don't leave me no choice. He don't leave you no choice, man. Here's a good example right here. Look at this. See, this is ridiculous, man. Look at that. You see that? Look at that. Here's what the Bible says. See? Look what the OAHSPE says, man. See? You see how the Bible plagiarizes the OAHSPE? It plagiarizes it. It steals from it. Joshua, he would never say this. Joshua of the OAHSPE. But Jesus of the Bible does. See? Look at this, man. This type of stuff, it just trips me out. I'm sorry, man. It just, here at the OAHSPE, it says, whatever God or Goddess has said, come to me, you who are heavily laden, and I will give you rest, for I am the way of salvation, light, and everlasting life. He says, then that God or Goddess shall be bound in the first resurrection, as long as mortals or angels go to him or her. So that right there telling you that Jesus Christ of the New Testament, the one that was showing us deception, that's where he is right now. That Jesus Christ of the New Testament, the one who said this, right now, he's in the first resurrection, because as long, see what it says here? Look at that. The Creator said, as long as people keep going to him, that's exactly where he's going to stay. First resurrection, redeeming, elevating these people until the very last one, proclaiming Jesus is Lord. And really what they mean, Jesus is, God and Creator and all that. They put it all on him. And the Creator said, as long as there's anyone in the world who is subscribing to him as the creator, the Jesus Christ, who they are worshiping. Well, really, it's Luamon. Luamon, he's going to stay. He's going to keep working to redeem till the very last one before Luamon himself can be resurrected. And, that's got to be some type of rough road I don't know particularly exactly what it involves for a God to have to serve in the lower heavens in the first resurrection and how far they must have fallen. But I know that it can't be a pleasant thing, man. I don't think that it's a picnic. This is where the OAHSPE separates itself from the Bible. It separates itself from the Bible. That's why, I know that me just coming into the OAHSPE, it seemed clear to me that we don't have to be enemies with anyone. We don't have to argue and debate with anyone about their sources of antiquity. And if you want to come to some understanding, but we don't have to be divided. We don't have to be acrimonious towards one another, as long as we subscribe to the Creator as the only, there's only one Creator. And then when you believe that, the Creator, he forces you into the OAHSPE though. See, that's the problem for a lot of people. As soon as you admit, man, you can hear the Creator, you attain to the Creator's voice, that means that the Creator is going to force you into the OAHSPE. He's going to force you to subscribe to it. You got to subscribe to it then, man. Here, this verse here says, I say to the young bird with feathers, fly. And it flies away. He says, I say to man, go forth in my name. But he looks around again, and I say to him, go forth. But he turns to his neighbor for his opinion. Again I speak, calling, come to me. But he stands wondering. Again I say, come. But he says, oh, by and by. Oh, by and by. And oh. Again I say, come. He replies, I do not have all light. I do not know everything. I do not have great learning. I am a man of stammering lips. Again I call, and he says, alas, there is nothing. And he goes down in darkness and curses me and accuses me. He accuses me of errors. He preaches my short. There it is right there. He preaches my shortness. That's what, if you're like me, you're learning not to, not to bring out the OAHSPE. Just don't bring it out, man. If you want to live a nice, quiet life, well, even then you won't be able to. But don't bring out only can speak for myself. I always share about, the acrimonious conversation I had with my cousin, and that did it for me. That did it, man. I felt like, hey, you know what? The OAHSPE is too good. It's too good for this. It's too good for this, man. I'm just holding my peace from now on. Just forget it, unless if you call me out, if somebody call me out, I will certainly come with it. I will come with it then, but not before then. No more. No more. I'll just sit and wait on the Creator. Let him open the door. But when you do share it, immediately this part of the scripture right here, he preaches my shortness. You tell somebody, and the first thing they do is they focus on John Blue Newborough. and they know they shouldn't be doing that. They know, people know, they know good and well you should. It's the message, man, that's important, not the messenger. And I can see someone, I can see the creators as, I'm gonna give them somebody that they won't believe because of the person who I'm using. I'm gonna just give them a person that, that way I'm gonna know it's really my children who hear my voice. Because I'm gonna give them every reason not to believe who I use to give the message. I'm gonna give them every reason. I'm gonna let them talk about how this man was what did it say? It said he was I forget what, Freemason, cheated on his wife, some other things, his imperfections, and I perceive that that's one way that the creator, he strains the net. He filters the hearts of men. He lets you get stuck on the first thing you do. You start looking at the messenger. But really the children hear his voice, no matter who brings it. This verse says, then Fragapati spoke, saying, Jehovah says, I've given man many talents because the roadways are not open for their growth. He plunges into darkness. Do not think that you can draw a line and say, oh man, you shall not do this or you shall do that. For you are powerless to hold him whom I created to go forward. We are powerless to we can't make anybody progress. He says, and if it does not find, talking about man, if man does not find a way to go forward, he will turn again and go backward. Okay, so I say a lot of things that, all right, Malachi, brother. It's good to see you, brother. How you doing? Doing okay? How the short legs doing? The short legs, he called his children. Good to see you, brother. Always good to see you. Come and check in. Remember, if you want to, matter of fact, every time I see when y'all come in, it reminds me to drop the link in case y'all want to say a word or y'all just checking in right quick. Let me put the link in the room. All right, man. Got the brother in here. Okay, so there go the link. How's life in Arizona, bro? You coming into the sweet season now, man. You coming into the sweet season now, brother. Arizona. I was in Tucson. I still have thoughts of going back down there. If they raise my rent again, I'm going to be packed up and on my way. If they raise my rent, it went from 500 to 800 something. And it'll probably go up out here. You can't live out here, man. Hey, I'm sorry. It's oh man. If I'm a single man saying that, I don't know how families do it out here. Buy 8 items of food, $150. Hey, Bishop. Never seen you before, bro, but I'm glad you're in here. This is a room where it's dedicated to trying to share with other faithless brethren. We teach from the OAHSPE Bible. I imagine you probably know what it is. But if you have any questions or anything, or okay, you come in peace. That's good. I'm assuming that you already know what the OAHSPE is, but if you don't, you have a question or have a link, you can click on it. You can come in the room. Flips. My brother flips. Let me see. Mahali says, they took my Facebook page down. I was hacked. I don't know when you talking Malachi? Okay. So here it says, Fragapati spoke, saying, Joby says, I've given man many talents because the roadways are now open for their growth. And I had to think that those roadways must be talking about the present reality, simply because of what I've been sharing about how we live in a reality where people, they can't see the message. They won't, like I was sharing about a Muslim brother. And he is, and not only just him, other people. It seemed like everywhere. If I ever open my mouth about the OAHSPE, which I will not do anymore, the first thing they do is some people will say a white man wrote it. Some will say that's the Bible says if anybody comes preaching another gospel. Some people will say Jesus is God, and that's teaching another God. And they won't listen. They just will not listen to the message. Won't even give the message a chance to hear the anointing that's in the message. Can't point out anything negative about the message. But the first thing, and like I was saying, even today, I went on the Pal Talk, was looking for other faithists to have fellowship with. And the first thing that they do, well, I don't believe in automatic writing. Well, that book is a problem because, he teaches against, just whatever. The first thing they do is they point, and without even having read it, they don't even give the message a chance. Or you get some smart guy who wants to talk about, well, it was compiled, with the OAHSPE Bible says this, and the OAHSPE Bible is get all technical, and you like he says here, you start preaching his shortness. That's all people, they just know how to do. I'm sorry, it's just the most amazing thing. It says, Pragpati spoke, saying, Joby says, I've given man many talents because roadways are not open for their growth. I have to think that's talking about the present reality. And because the roadways are not open, he plunges into darkness. Do not think that you can draw a line and say, oh man, you shall not do this, or you shall do that, or you are powerless to hold him, whom I created to go forward. And if he does not find a way to go forward, he will turn and go backward. And that certainly sounds like faithists to me. Let me see. Malachi says, I always ask them to stop me when they hear something evil. Oh, you must be talking to Molly. Okay. So this sounds like faithists to me. First of all, you can't prevent him. Creator won't let you prevent a faithist, or you are powerless to hold him, whom I created to go forward. But if he does not find a way, he regresses. He goes backwards. If man, you don't stagnate. You go forward or backwards with the Creator. He says, all the earth is mine, and the waters in the air above the earth. These are members of my body. Man, I created not to possess them, but to dwell on them and in them. To all men alike, I gave these inheritances, nor to any man apart, nor to any nation or people apart, but with liberty and privilege. But with liberty and privilege to these, I gave man the right to draw sustenance and support. All men are my children. Into conscious being, I created them alike. Privilege to all the earth, and the waters of the earth, and the air, and the firmament above the earth. Book of Spirit. Dave. All right, brother. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Yeah. Good to see you, brother. You say King James, a white man, wrote their Bible. Also, all the Jews who messed with their Tanakh and Torah were also white men. I don't know about that. I believe you, though. I certainly believe you. I don't want to sound harsh and say I don't much care anymore about the particulars that cause all the divisions. And if I deal with somebody, I just cut them off at the legs. I just cut them right off at the legs, man, when they want to argue. Yeah, you're right, Malachi. I just cut other faiths off at the legs, man. You know, I'll just tell them, hey, look, man, we on the same road. You know, you want to do what's right. I want to do what's right. You know, ain't no room for us to be disagreeing or fighting. And, you know, my only thing is now, if you worship a deity, man. If you're into idolatry, now you got problems. You got problems, brother. That's where me and you, that brother, is where that right there is where we part company. We part company. But if you're going about, you trying to do what is right by your brethren, maybe you ignorant, the Creator, he says that he lets that slide. You don't even have to know who he is. But you simply going about trying to just do what's right, you know. There are ignorant, quote unquote, fakeness, you know. But if you belong to another, the Creator is not a home wrecker, you know. If that's your man, that's your woman, that deity, that idol, the Creator don't try, you know, hey, it's your decision. It's up. It's if you know he's not a home wrecker. If that's what you want, and then you cross over, and then you find out too late. Now you a slave. Now you a slave. Can't elevate. You don't know no better. You could be there 100,000 years in that blocked mindset, not knowing anything, man. You know you stuck. I know the world don't think nothing about it now. It ain't no thing. But it's a terrible shame when you find out when, you know, it says, whoever consults the spirit of earthly things shall fall into darkness. Do not call upon the spirits of the dead. Do not call upon the spirits of the dead to come to you. You will call, but it says, but call on your Creator wisdom, call on your Creator for wisdom, light, truth, purity, and it will be well with you. He will send you to those spirits who are best adapted to you for your resurrection. Nor are these my revelations to mortals only, but to billions of the spirits of the dead who do not know the plan of resurrection to higher heavens, but who wander about on the earth, not even knowing the organizations of the kingdoms of my lowest of heavens, whom I reach by coming to mortals in places on the earth where they abide. It says, consider all the multitude of infants who die without any knowledge, either on earth nor in heaven, and the multitude of the unlearned, the foolish, and the depraved. For all of these, as well as the wise and good, enter the first resurrection. And of the wise and good who strive for continual elevation, look at how few compared to the whole. You see that? Faithless are few. See? And I've even heard some people say, well, ain't nobody, ain't nobody, you know, don't nobody believe, or you don't, nobody believes, or you have, how many people believe this, you know, as if that matter. I heard somebody say something like it ain't nobody who believe you. You know, like if you got a lot of believers, that's supposed to make it, you know, like make it right or true. The number of believers. Wow, people get stuck on the most ridiculous things, man. But what about the message, though? The message. He a white man. He was a dentist. I didn't know John Blue Newborough spent time in my hometown, Cincinnati. He came out of Cincinnati. Or he went to school there or something, college, or tripped me out. And of the wise and good who strive for continued elevation, how few compared to the whole. Yes, such is the relative proportions of angels of light and angels of darkness in proximity to mortals. So it's a billion. It's just saying that angels of light and angels of darkness as compared to the number of mortals. Way, 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 way more. Such is the relative proportions of angels of light and angels of darkness in proximity to mortals. Angel entities as compared to mortals, if I'm not mistaken, this is saying. Here it says, Vortexia, unseen energy pervading the universe that manifests from physical matter dissolved in heat. I can't explain that. I can't explain this. Cal can, Malachi can, Dave can, everybody else can, I can't. But I put it down because I can get something out of it, but I can't really break it down real good. Vortexia is unseen energy pervading the universe that manifests from physical matter dissolved in heat. When given axial motion, it provides the force that creates planets, holds them intact, preventing their corporeal substance from redissolving into heat. Light, heat, magnetism, and electricity are all manifestations of vortexia under different conditions. Vortexia is the manifestation of corporeal in an etheric solution. I can't even try to break that down. I'll mess that all up. Hey, Ace and F. All right, man. We had a full house tonight. All the home run hitters are in here. All right, man. I'm glad. Thank you, Creator, for these brethren. Thank you. And those who learn the best, the Lord named Ritvich, and those, and I think that's another name for ritual. And those who learn the best, the Lord named Ritvich, because he made them teachers over others. The Lord said, because you have confounded the language of the ancients. So remember, this is a verse I'm jumping in the middle here. I'm not providing context. It says, the Lord said, because you have confounded the language of the ancients, I will give you a new language, and it shall be Vedi, which is perfect, against all my enemies, nor shall any man any more meddle with the words I give. And then the definition of Vedi. It was an ancient name for Zarathustrians. Uzian means those of the world's people who lack faith in Jehovah and advocate the practice of war and destruction. Also refer to vampires. See vampire in the glossary. So Uzians, never forget that, man. People, when you look at people, man, and they advocate for war, and that's what America, man, you look at America, they talk about guns. They know all the different models, the serial numbers, and they know about what every bullet will do. What is just everything, every detail America seems to know about, how's a Glock different from a Remington and an AK-47 different from a Thompson machine. They know it all about weapons, man. That has to do with war and kill. The Creator said you can easily identify an Uzian a lot of times. They lack faith in Jehovah, and they advocate the practice of war and destruction. Uzian, you Uzian. Te, the highest general expression of humanity, the highest light, the voice of Jehovah manifesting in humanity. One of the 9 entities listed at the beginning of the book of Ben. Yeah, you got to love the questions that Te asks the Creator. See, that's another thing right there, man, where that you should be able to tell if the critics of the OAHSPE would just sit down and read, man, and see the anointing behind the things that are written, how a man cannot come up with this wisdom. He cannot do it, man. He can't. The way, how can a man write the wisdom of the OAHSPE? You know what I mean? He can't. That's what the children see. That's what separates the children from the Uzians. Uzians, the first thing, man. The first thing. John Ballou Newborough. John Blue Newborough. John Blue New. That's the first thing, man. It just, it's up there on the level. Will you kill your children? With me. Time for the reading of the word. Simu and age. Yeah, you right, Fritz. You got that right, brother. I like to laugh at man's pride, man. It makes me laugh. I just, here you got somebody who, the creator, he said he made us at zero. He made us at zero, man, But you are so proud. Like you did it all yourself. You so proud now, You're so you're so great in your own eyes. You're so proud. Wow, man. Yep, comes before a fall. Simu and age, a period of time on a planet encompassing 2 seasons in which conditions arise that allow life to begin. It includes primitive creations as well as the more advanced forms of life, such as animals and man. See Book of Job. It says the first season of the Simu age preceded the creation of Asu. So I think the animals or vegetation is saying preceded the creation of man, who was Asu, who appeared during the second season. It was of that time that man arose from Asu, thus marking the beginning of the Eoctian age. Now I forget, the Eoctian age is, what is that, Fritz? The Eoctian age. What is that, Fritz? I forget. Oh, I know what it is. I think I remember. Let me see if Fritz know it. Okay, so everybody's watching Fritz. I'm going to leave it hanging to see if I'm going to put the spotlight on it. Start putting the spotlight on you, brother. Okay, we're waiting on Fritz to tell us what the Eoctian age is. So I'm going to keep going. Okay, I got to let the brother off the hook. The Eoctian age is the age. Okay, the Eoctian age is, if I'm not mistaken, that's the age where man can be saved, where he's able to, he's able to receive the light. He's able to receive the light. Don't nobody laugh at the brother, because I'm coming next for you. You brother don't know who I'm gonna come at next. I'm gonna keep you on your toes. Okay, so we got Simu, a physical substance from which life begins. It rains down on the planet during a limited time, early in the planet's history, and is the basis from which life begins. It only occurs to any significant degree. It only occurs to any significant degree during the Simu age. Isn't that algae or the green matter? Isn't that Simu? And doesn't that testify of the Simuan age? The what is the green stuff that forms on the sea? Isn't that a testimony of the Simuan age? What do they call it? The green algae. I forget. There's a name for it. It forms on the shores of the ocean, comes up against the land. It's algae, but it's something else too. The creator, he calls it something else. Let me see. No. It might be those things, part of those things, but there's a name the creator he give for it. It's called some type of jelly type of substance that somebody in the chat will get it. They'll put it up. So I can't remember. Time for the reading of the word. So let me do 2 more, and then let's go to the reading of the word. Okay, here's subcycles. Let's see. Spiritual ranks, states of spiritual advancement. Mortal becomes first a spirit of atmospheria, then an Etherean, with ranks such as an Orion, an Nirvanian, an Oetan, an Eon, etc. Yeah. Some type of scum or something that testifies of these. Uh, but the OAHSPE uses a certain name. Okay, Cephas. Cephas is the established laws of the land or established religion of the land and enforced government or religion, one of the 9 entities, and it's listed at the beginning of the book of Ben. Also, the 72,000-year season immediately preceding the dawn of cosmic. Okay, so that helps me to understand Cephas a little better, the way things have always been, the order of things before cosmic, because cosmic is a putting away of the old and bringing in of the new, basically, is what we're looking at. It says the Cephas season was the first half of the Hotuan age. Now, I forget the Hotuan age. Let me see, the Hotuan age, I forget. The Hotuan age is 2 parts, I think. Now, I forget. I can't forget all day trying to remember. And it began the time of the Seamoon age, spring for the earth. It ended the Hotuan age. I'm butchering it. Let me go back again. It says the Cephas season was the first half of the Hotuan age, summer for the earth. And it began when the Seamoon age, spring for the earth, ended. The Hotuan age embraces the bulk of the Euoctian age of the earth. Cephas ended with the completion of Lyca's cycle at the dawn of cosmic. See Book of Asham. Okay, so the Hotuan age, I forget, there's 2 parts to it. Spring and summer, Hotuan age. All right, so it's time for the reading of the word. Let me see, Dave says cytoplasm jelly. No, I remember another word in the OAHSPE that it used for that. I forget. There's another word where you use for like that substance, jelly-like substance. All right, time for the reading of the word. The reading of the word is going to be the book of S, chapter, I think it's 17. And the name of the video, man, is another warning about Jesus Christ. Another warning about Jesus Christ, man, you know. And actually, I had not come across this before. That's why I'm doing the video on it now. I had not even come across this before. That chapter. And it's the creator. He breaking it down, man, you know. But he's not kidding, man, about captivity to religion. He's not kidding. I mean, I can't stop thinking about it. I can't stop. And he brought it to my attention last night. Book of S. I mean, he gets down on the false gods again. And it's a shame we in a world where, you know, it seems like all people can hear is John Ballou Newborough. That's all they can hear. That's all they can see or hear. Because it gives them a chance to come down on him. It's a terrible thing the way the human being is, you know. But the children, they hear the message. They look past him. Okay, the name of the video, man, is another warning about Jesus Christ. And you know, the OAHSPE, the creator, he's going to go into it in this chapter. I mean, I'm sure all you brethren already read this, you know. But for those who may see this video, the creator directs you to this video. He's making it very clear that about the danger of religion There is a danger to it. We don't hear much about it. Faith is they know about it. May the Creator bless the reading of His Word. This chapter 17, the book of Es, Jehovah judges the false gods and goddesses. Es, which is spirit, said the voice spoke out of the light over the throne of God, saying, because I admonished both earth and heaven, saying, whoever sets up more than the I am shall be bound. Here it is, right off the bat, man. Right off the bat, He's warning you. He says, because I admonished both earth and heaven, saying, whoever sets up more than the I am shall be bound. And whoever listens to them and runs after them shall be bound to them. Talking about if you listen to false gods, you listen to false goddesses, and they did not obey my commandments, but made gods other than me worshipful. So now they shall reap the harvest that they have sown, because they drew the sword to establish themselves. They were bound by the sword. Remember, Spanish Inquisition, who's your God? Put him to death. Because they took upon themselves heavenly kingdoms, talking about the false gods, because they took upon themselves heavenly kingdoms, I bound them to their kingdoms. Because they profess salvation in the names of false gods, I let them run their course, and lo and behold, they have shown no salvation in heaven and earth. See, that's another thing right there, man. I remember I was talking to somebody, and I said, man, why would I be a Christian? Why? I said, I was one. Now, why would I be, when I look back and I see that the result of it is wars and bloodshed? That's your God. That is your God doing. These are Christian nations going out there and doing. Muslim and Christian nations. Y'all the ones fighting and spilling blood. Now, why would I worship a God like that? And the Creator, He says, I let them run their course. I let them run their course, and lo and behold, they have shown no salvation. See? No salvation in heaven and earth. As a matter of fact, that increases the harvest when you do that to people. Like, how much you want to bet those Islamists and Muhammadans and Muslims and whatever over there, they praying harder than ever now. They really bringing in a harvest now because of all the trouble over there. It's a perfect storm. You bring more trouble, you bring more of a harvest for false gods. It makes people more devout to the false god they worship. You bring tribulation and bloodshed and war. That increased the numbers of false people. They make a beeline for the churches and the religions. They make a beeline for it. They have built up kingdom against kingdom, standing army against standing army. Truly, they have brought judgment upon themselves. Hear the words of Jehovah, O false gods and goddesses, you who set up heavenly kingdoms against me, you who slew hundreds and millions of mortals in order to make names other than mine, worshipful on the earth and its lower heavens. You who cried out falsely, behold me, I am the light and the life. Through me is the way of salvation. Who is that? That's Jesus Christ right there. That's Jesus Christ right there. I am the resurrection and the truth. Is that what He said? I am the life or something. That's Jesus Christ. You who cried out falsely, behold me, I am the light of life. Through me is the way of salvation. See, I gotta Google this. I just have to Google it, man, so we can see it. Look at this. I'm Googling it. Look what it's going to bring up. You already know, I know. The life of the world. Behold, I am Jesus Christ, whom the prophets testified shall come into the world. And behold, I am the light and the light. And I'm just being redundant, man, because it's so amazing how we were duped. See, how it's so blatant and we did not know. ASNAT says Isaiah 14, Ezekiel 31. Yeah, I can't go there now. I don't want to get off of the reading too much. It's just so out front, man. It's just in your face, the deception that we were under. I am the light and the life. You who cried out falsely. It says, through me is the way of salvation. You who have used your names to lead mortals and angels away from the Creator, saying of yourselves, behold me, I am the Lord, I am God. My only place is the All Highest. Behold, I have spoken in the ancient times. I said, whoever aspires to be a king of the earth or queen or emperor or ruler over a nation or people, and I give him his desire, he shall be bound with the people of his administration. Bound. Oh, almost forgot. Share the tab. Dave is in the room, so you better not forget, man. Share the tab. Neither shall he rise to my emancipated heavens. See, that don't mean nothing to the world now. What do they care about that? Faith is care. See, that's where we live. Don't nobody care about this. Rise and man says, rise cries, Neither shall he rise to my emancipated heavens till he is carried up with him every soul over whom he had dominion. But he shall be bound to that people in the first and second resurrection until even the lowest of them are raised in virtue and good works, sufficient for the grade of brides and bridegrooms to my Ethereal realms. He said, and if a king stretches forth his arm to subdue and annex other countries, see, that's Israel. That's really the whole world, really. It's really America. It's really British colonialism. That's British colonialism, man. If a king stretches forth his arm to subdue and annex other countries to his own. The Creator said, if a king stretches forth his arm to subdue and annex other countries to his own, the Creator said, allow him to do so, for he is magnifying his bondage for the resurrection of the low. That's the British Empire right there. Remember, the sun never set on their kingdom. And you shall apply these rules to all earthly rulers, whether they are kings, queens, emperors, presidents, governors, legislatures, judges. Look at the condemnation on our system. Popes, priests, preachers, whoever presumes to rule over, lead, or exact servitude from others. Now, man, I'm telling you, that's a lot of people. ASAT says both of those chapters back here reading. Look at it when you get a chance, not now. Okay. Well, you got me curious now. Tempted to do it now. It says, and the term of bondage to them in the lower heavens shall be in proportion to the magnitude of their dominions. That means that as big as your kingdom was, that's how long you're going to be spending raising up even the lowest to the last lowest one. So you got to, man, the kings of the British Empire, who were they? Who were the kings of the British Empire from beginning to end? Athelstan, William the Conqueror, James 1 and 6, George 5, Queen Elizabeth and now King Charles. These people right here, I don't know how one person is going to pay for all that they have done. I don't know how that works. It must be them and their underlings. Look at Queen Elizabeth. She's going to be spending. She will not be able to resurrect until every last subject that she ruled over is resurrected. How many, at the most, how many people at its peak, how big was the British Empire? At its height in 1922, it was the largest empire the world had ever seen, covering around a quarter of the Earth's land surface and ruling over 458 million people. So these people here, they won't be able to ascend, whatever that means. They won't be able to ascend, whatever that means, until every last subject makes it out of the first and second resurrection. King Charles. Yeah, he's a Scorpio. But to whoever attains dominion by the sword, or extends dominion by the sword, and by blood and death, look here, his bondage shall be 100-fold. See, the Creator, he's not all peaches and cream. He's justice too. People don't get away with it, You don't get away with it, man. See there? And whosoever maintains his dominion, America, it says, and whoever maintains his dominion by standing armies. China. Who has the biggest standing army in the world? China. United States. North Korea, Pakistan, Iran. Biggest army. Whoever maintains his dominion by standing armies, you shall compute their number, and to him and his high officers, the bondage in the lowest heaven shall be equal to 10 times the number of their soldiers. Look at that. And 10 times, man. Wow. He says that the number of their soldiers, he says, whoever maintains his dominion by standing armies, you shall compute their number. Okay. 1 million. There's 1 million in this army. Okay, compute their number. Okay, there's 1 million. And to him and his high officers, the bondage in the lowest heaven shall be equal to 10 times the number of their soldiers. And 10 times, that's 20, the numbers of their servitude of the multitude of his army. So he had an army of 1 million. Your bondage is not 1 million years. It's 10 million years for the high officers in the lowest heaven. Their bondage is equal to 10 times the number of the soldiers. I got 1 million soldiers. That's 10 million. Something's got to be wrong with my computation. It's got to be wrong, man. How does that work? And 10 times the number of years of servitude of the multitude of his armies. For whoever takes from my people for his own glory or dominion shall render unto me the just value. Good night, man. God help us. Whoever takes from my people, and faith is, who knows how long they've been getting plundered. Whoever, that's the first person that weakness tempts the aggressor. For whoever takes from my people, they think faithists are weak because we're called to be non-resistant. But we're a target, man. You know, whoever engages in war or leads in war or is a captain or a general and causes the death of any who I created alive, he shall not rise to inherit my emancipated heavens as long as there remains war upon the earth. He said, oh man, will you listen to this? Whoever engages in war or leads in war is a captain or a general and causes the death of any whom I created alive, he shall not rise to inherit my emancipated heavens as long as there remains war upon the earth, but he shall toil in the lowest heavens of the earth to educate and raise up his drujas, which shall be his labor. So you cross over and you have to go to school where you're going to be taught that it was wrong to war. You're going to learn the commandments of Jehovah, and the teacher, the instructor is going to be Adolf Hitler. It's going to be King Leopold. It's going to be Benjamin Netanyahu. It's going to be Pol Pot. It's going to be Professor Mao Zedong in Commandments 101. It's going to be Professor Kim Jong-un. Learning the moon cycles according to the OAHSPE by Professor Kim Jong-un. Professor Idi Amin. The Vortexian energy cycle under Professor Idi Amin. The Glory of Creator by Joseph Stalin. Whoever engages in war, see, that's where they are. That's where they are. Yeah. The Simuan Age by Professor General Patton. The Ethereal Realm by Professor George Bush. The Creator says that's what they're going to be doing. And he says they're going to be toiling. And the Lord have to educate and raise up its drujas. He says, and whoever has great riches and many servants, his resurrection shall be no faster than the resurrection of those who serve him. Who was the biggest slave owner ever in the world? Who owned the most slaves ever in the whole wide history of the world? Joshua John Ward, a South Carolina rice planter, owned the most slaves in the United States at one point in history. Joshua John Ward. Joshua John Ward owned the most slaves. Joshua John Ward. Joshua John Ward. He owned the most slaves. And whoever has great riches and many servants, his resurrection shall be no faster than the resurrection of those who serve. That means that he's got to take it. He got to take it, man. You know, these guys, they got to take it. Remember? You remember what the OAHSPE said? He said they're going to be waiting for him. Do you know that these slaves, they be waiting for these people? You know? So they can hand out some get back. They give out some get back. And you got to take it. You got a whooping coming. And whoever has great riches and yet no servants, but lives for himself, you shall apportion his place in the first resurrection, even according to the good he might have done, had he obeyed my commandments, and he shall do in heaven what he neglected to do on earth. And he shall not rise to my emancipated heavens till he is appropriated according to that which I gave him into his keeping. Who is the richest man on earth? Who is the richest man on earth? Isaiah 14 confirms General Patton and George Bush. What does it concern? What does it confirm? Elon Musk is the richest person in the world. Jeff Bezos, Bernard Arnault, Larry Ellis, Bill Gates, Steve Ballmer, Larry Page, Warren Buffett, Sergey Brin. And the OAHSPE says, and the OAHSPE says, whoever has great riches and yet no servants. So these men are not known as slave owners. They don't have slave owners, or they don't have slaves. They are rich. They don't have slaves. And so the OAHSPE is saying, like, if you are rich and you don't have any slaves, yeah, there are black billionaires too. Let me see, Dave says, wasn't it Xerxes who had the most slaves? How many slaves did Xerxes have? Xerxes, military, slaves, conscripts, or free. While slavery and the subjection of humans was the norm. Yeah, I'm not talking about just mid-Atlantic slave trade. I'm talking about any slave trade anywhere in the world. I think the OAHSPE is too. Anybody who held anybody, while slavery and the subjugation of humans was the norm in the historical Western world, such as Greece and Rome, 2 generations prior to when Xerxes took the throne. His grandfather Cyrus, his grandfather Cyrus the Great abolished slavery in all its forms. Well, what does it say about Xerxes? Xerxes. Okay, I can't go into it now, but I imagine that he was up there. If you mentioned it, Dave. See, Omian says, Shamal plate enforces no escape. Or I remember reading that too. I remember reading that. I remember reading something like that. I do remember something like that. This is serious business, man. This is serious. This is some serious business, man. You know? Whoever has great riches yet no servants, he lives for himself. You shall apportion his place in the first resurrection, even according to the good he might have done had he obeyed my commandments. So they have the ability to do great good. And it sounds like for every homeless person in the world that had to go without while you were riches, it sounds like your riches are going to testify against you. You had a mansion. You had about probably 300 bathrooms in that mansion, and a whole country had to do with 10 functioning bathrooms. See? And you had the ability to serve with all your riches 4, 5, 6 million people who didn't have to live like that. Now, it sounds like the Creator is saying, you shall apportion his place in the first resurrection, even according to the good he might have done. Now, I know that they've got to be doing a lot of benevolent works that we don't hear about. So good for them if that's the case. But if you were not, if you were stingy, we see Omiya says, and the atmospherians who have not been redeemed from darkness in that day shall alight on the new world. And also, how do you like that? The atmospherians, Omiya says. He says, and the atmospherians who have not been redeemed from darkness in that day. And that's some, they haven't completed their work in atmospheria. They shall alight on the new world. And also, and that's something. I know if Omiya says is that's money, so he says, you shall apportion his place in the first resurrection, even according to the good he might have done had he obeyed my commandments, and he shall do in heaven what he neglected to do on earth, and he shall not rise to my emancipated heaven, so he is appropriated according to that which I gave into his keeping. God said the words that come out of a man's mouth, even though they profess prayers and repentance, are of little help before Jehovah. But the words that come out of good works done to others to raise them up are like the sound of a trumpet that reaches beyond the stars. For in all the ages of the world, there have been deceivers and hypocrites with temples and churches to worship in, professing to serve the Creator, but in fact, serving an idol. Let me put that up so that people can see that too on here. See? And the priests and their priests and preachers speak good doctrines, but they do not practice them except a little, as a blind to lead the multitude astray. The pastors who deceive the people. They deceive the people, man. You think you're getting away with it. The joke is on you. The joke is on you, brother. The 10 richest pastors in the world. The 10 richest pastors in the world. Bishop T.D. Jakes. Ten richest pastors in the world, man. He's a Gemini. That means he's got the gift of gab. So I'm not surprised at all. He got the gift of gab, man. He know how to talk. Gift of gab, like Donald Trump. He's another Gemini. He can talk. He's a talker, man. He can talk real good. He's a sweet talker. See? But the OAHSPE has got the number. See, the creator has got the number. And he ain't the only one. Look at these guys, man. They don't want to hear nothing about no OAHSPE. They don't want to hear about that, man. Where's Creflo Dollar at? Create a flow of dollars. Where is he at? He's somewhere on here, ain't he? There you go. Creflo Dollar. See? Take advantage of people. Here we go. Creflo Dollar. See? It just bothers me, man, when people do that. It just, for some reason, it just bothers me, man. You know, how you can stand up before people and take their money like that because they believe in you. They believe in you. And you use the Creator. Really, you use the Creator so that you can live good. So that you can live good, man. And you don't even care that you're deceiving the people. You don't even care, man. I'm sorry. I got to get off of that. It just burns my behind. I just wish it didn't affect me so much. So let me see. Omi says, what happened to Creflo Dollar? He's been silent for a while. I don't know. Yeah, Asenaf, you said it, man. There's got to be retribution, you know. There's got to be retribution. They might have shut him up, you know, because they're like a organization, Trinity Broadcasting Network. But the Creator, he know what's up. He said, and their priests and preachers, they speak good doctrines, but they do not practice them except a little, as a blind to lead the multitude astray. And they live in fine houses, laying back because they know what's coming. Fritz, yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that, man. They know what's coming, you know. Cosmin could be on their behind. That vibration, it might be on their behind. You got to give it up. Keep on dancing. Yeah. Got to give it up. And they live in fine houses. Look at that. And they fare sumptuously every day and are skilled in oratory. Bishop T.D. Jakes, he's skilled in oratory. See? And doctrinal precepts, but they will not go and serve the poor. The Creator just nails it, man. He just nails it. See? Oh. Dave says, now when God looked abroad over Gautama, he saw 4 million people in bondage as slaves. 4 million. And he saw that they must be liberated. So God inquired of the chief mathematician. He's going to post some more. He said, my judgments are upon those who profess me. See? Dealing out of their pittance. You got $1 billion. You hand over $40 to somebody who's dead broke. Now, when God looked abroad over Gautama, he saw 4 million people in bondage as slaves, and he saw that they must be liberated. So God inquired of the chief mathematician and the holy council, one Arad, saying, who of all the kings of the earth has had the greatest number of slaves? Oh, okay. It's right there in the OAHSPE. How do you like that? Xerxes. And he was in the Atmospheria. He's in Atmospheria now. Xerxes, man. I wonder what else that says. My judgments are upon those who profess me, dealing out of their pittance to the poor. Meaning you got $5 billion, man. A widow needs a house. You chip in $100 to GoFundMe. While they themselves live above, man, he talking about America. See, we already getting paid back, man, because it's like, it's hard. It's getting hard to live. If I'm a single man saying this, and the Creator has blessed me, it made sufficiently financially, and I'm saying this, I can't imagine a woman with children in this area here, because it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous where I live. I think, what is gas? Look here. What is gas in the Bay Area, California? I mean, what is the price of gas? Come on, you knew what I was saying. What is the highest gas in the America Western Hemisphere? Highest gas prices. $6. I bet you that's right down the street from where I live too. Let me see. Does it say? Yep, look at that. California's in the red. See? Look at all that. It's the worst out here. See? It's hard to live, for not so much for me, but for a lot of people. When such men die and enter the first resurrection, they shall be handed over to those who are in darkness, and their bondage shall be 100-fold. For they preached, see there? He said, for they preached words of righteousness with the mouth, but in their behavior they laid their foundation for the kingdom of hypocrisy. Truly I give to them the harvest that comes of their own sowing. These then have been my doctrines for thousands of years and known to you before you deserted my kingdoms. If such then are my judgments upon mortals who serve false gods, how much greater then must be penalty upon false gods who set themselves up to establish these iniquities. Here then the judgment of Jehovah. Whoever has established the name of any god but the Creator and made it worshipful on earth or in heaven shall be bound in the first resurrection, till that name is no longer worshipful on earth or in heaven. And whatever god or goddess has said, come to me, you who are heavily laden, and I will give you rest, for I am the way of salvation, light, and everlasting life, then that god or goddess shall be bound in the first resurrection as long as mortals or angels go to him. There's your warning about Jesus Christ right there. There's your warning right there. Everybody knows who said this. Everybody knows who said it. Right? It's open secret, man. There he is. He said it. So where is he right now? Laboring. He said, come to me, man. I will give you rest. Jesus Christ. See? There's your judgment right there. For I am the way of salvation, light, and everlasting life. Then that god or goddess shall be bound, and Jesus Christ shall be bound in the first resurrection, as long as mortals or angels go to him or her. So even till this day, people are going to Jesus Christ. Even to this day, Christianity is probably growing. It's probably growing. So Jesus Christ is still reaping a harvest to this day. Well, personally, I don't believe he existed. So, but somebody, Luamong, is still reaping harvest. Now, I believe Luamong existed. He's still reaping harvest. He got to clean up all that from back then even till today. He's got to work to restore every single person who names himself to be worship Jesus Christ. Who do Christians worship? The true God, which is God the Father, God the Son, Jesus Christ. Who are Christians supposed to worship? Okay, God is present. Look here, do Christians worship God or Jesus? We believe in one Lord, Jesus Christ, the only Son of God. Now, wait a minute. Was he God or is he God? So he prayed to himself. I mean, what is it? What's going on here? We worship. Why worship Jesus? See, you know, that's the warning right there. That is the warning right there. How many Christians are in America? How many Christians are there in the world? 2.4 billion in the world, representing 31% of the global population. There are 2.4 billion Christians in the world. So even if you take half of that, 1 billion, that's an awesome number. That is an awesome number. He said, behold, is such a God called? And they answered to him, so do I give to both the God who calls and the subject who runs to him. For I give liberty even to my enemies, meaning you can do what you want. Do what you want. Even his enemies get liberty to do what they want. He says, but when a subject goes to a God and says, behold, you have said, where I go, I will call all men to me. And I believed in you. And that God shall not put him away. I mean, that's yours. He's yours. Luamong, that's yours. He's yours. You got to raise him up. While Osiris was worshipped, I gave to Osiris the false. While Ashtaroth was worshipped, I gave to her. While Baal was worshipped, I gave to Baal. But when any of these gods were no longer worshipped, behold, I gave them no more subjects. As long as Brahmin, so see, but when any of these gods were no longer worshipped, behold, I gave them no more subjects. As long as Brahmin is worshipped, I will give to him who is before me. As long as Buddha is worshipped, I will give to him who is before me. As long as Christ is worshipped, I will give to him who is before me. As long as Mohammedans are upheld on the earth, I will give to him who built up Muhammad. And when all of you have purified and raised up all those who idolized you, that is when I will raise you up to the higher heavens also. Spirit said, yes, said, and now when the voice ceased and all was still, the false gods and goddesses raised up their heads and they spoke with one voice, saying, you are just, O Jehovah. To you I now covenant that I will serve you forever. Neither will I aspire to rise to higher heavens. So I have raised up all whom I have led astray. Make me strong, O Jehovah, in this my everlasting covenant. Teach me, O Father, to labor I should do, so that you shall be glorified forever. Thus ended the judgment. God's marshals removed them to the places allotted for them, and they went to work. And that will conclude the reading of this word. May the Creator be blessed. and glorified. And thank you for telling us what the real deal is in this reality, that we don't have to run in vain. Thank you. Thank you for that, Creator. I'm sorry I'm passionate about that, but I'm telling you the truth, man. I'm so glad I didn't go down in captivity and come to the end of my reality, where it would now probably cost me 100 to 1,000 years in order to get out of my mind that's been held captive by religion. I mean, I don't know. It might not, to me, that I'm telling you, I'm sorry. That means something to me. I'm sorry. I am sorry, man. But I can't tell you. That means something to me. It means something to me, man, and I can't explain it. It can't explain it, man. I mean, I believe it. I just believe, and I believe the same for y'all too. You know, I get thrilled for y'all just as much as I get thrilled for myself. That's why, you know, I'm happy for you, brethren. We should be happy for one another. I know we are. It's kind of bittersweet though, because, you know, being in this situation where we got to see the things that we see the Uzzians, ain't nothing that we can do about it. Anyway, I'm gonna drop the link to see if anybody want to come on and come on and have a word or anything. If you want to share something. So I'm gonna open that Pal Talk room. I'm gonna have it open from like 12 to 2. Try to do it every day. 12 to 2, Pal Talk. It's in one of the rooms, Facebook rooms. I'll put the link in there again, time to time. And Pal Talk is a forum where you come on. They got all kinds of thousands of chat rooms according to your interests. And so I think it's a good idea, you know. May brethren during different times of the day might want to come in, have a conversation or whatever, or it could be people in there. It's, you know, other people can come in and find out, you know, talk, OAHSPE, whatever. It's up to them. So what did y'all think? The lesson. Anybody have anything you want to share? What you came away with? Again, man, you know me. You know what I'll say. I just give thanks for being able to have for the Creator to get me out of deity worship, because you brethren, all y'all can think back about what it's like to not have any understanding, but to be locked into something. You know, now somebody will say, well, you locked into the OAHSPE now. And I would say to them, yeah, that's definitely true. You know, but what way do you want to have it? What would you choose to be locked into? Do you want to be locked into a God who is all about war and bloodshed? And, you know, someone would say, you know, I could say like, I would like to play devil's advocate, like, but they trying to turn around and deliver us now. So we ain't no different than you, you know. They trying to deliver us now. Luamon, you know, Xerxes, all the slave owners who held other slaves, they turning around now. They got to deliver us. So it can't be too bad. I mean, you know, they could turn around and say that. What would somebody say to that? What would one of y'all say to that? If somebody, you know, let's say Diddy, right? Diddy, you know, the famous Diddy. It's all good, because when I leave, then the God who I serve, he's going to turn around and try to he's going to try to restore me anyway. So it's all good. So all that evil I done did, it ain't no thing. I'm going to just get away with it. You know, what would y'all say to somebody like that? You know, done all that on the earth, and then to find out, and then, you know, you know, I mean, I'm just being facetious. It ain't nothing, no it's like people not, seeing no recompense for the things that they have done. I mean, there is a recompense, but what we read, it could sound, I mean, the false gods, they were brought before, it sounded like they were brought before the throne of the righteous God or Jehovah, and they repented. I mean, so that in the spiritual, brethren must be getting turned around. And it almost sounds like they ain't got nothing to worry about. What's Munchausen syndrome? What's that? Munchausen? What's that, Ace-Nat? Let's see. Munchausen syndrome? Munchausen syndrome. What is Munchausen syndrome? It is a factitious disorder imposed on self, also known as Munchausen syndrome, is a factitious disorder in which those affected reign or induce diseases, illness, injury, abuse, psychological trauma to draw attention. Wow. To draw attention, sympathy, or reassurance to themselves. ASAP, you're gonna have to explain why you bringing that out. I don't know. It says this is interesting though. Looking at factitious disorder imposed on self. Now it's for the purpose of drawing attention, for sympathy or reassurance to themselves. Now who's doing that? It's a factitious disorder which shows affected faint or induced disease. And who's in doing this? Who's inducing disease? Oh, the false gods? No, that's Stockholm syndrome. Loving your captors is Stockholm syndrome. Munchausen syndrome sounds like something someone does in order to draw sympathy, is what it's saying. Why are you mentioning Munchausen syndrome? Oh, okay. So that's so that's an interesting thing, I mean, you meant Stockholm syndrome, but it said Munchausen syndrome, and that's a real syndrome. It's interesting. People doing things to themselves to draw attention. It sounds like something children would do. But anyway, I mean, I think that I think I was just trying to make the point that it could sound like people get away with the evil that they have done because the false gods they were petty. I mean, I think I have a question in my mind. Like, it sounds like there's retribution, but there's also correction. And so, I mean, we read about the slaves, and they are waiting for slave masters, and we've read about in the OAHSPE, we've read about the sometimes being subject to a deity for 100 to 1,000 years in the spiritual and the atmosphere. We've read where the false gods and those who have held other people in bondage have to repent and now work for their elevation. I mean, you just wonder how does all that, what happens? I mean, it's just sounds like different realms in the spiritual. People who they get finished with all their schooling, they become wandering spirits, and their druges are waiting for them. And so, what do? They come to the earth and they influence people to join up with this false god or that. And I don't know. That's a big fat mystery. I don't even know if it's important for us to know it, but interesting to think about. All right. Well, brother, shoot, man. That's the best I can do for right now. Nobody wants to come on and share any word or anything, or, you know. So good time to close the video. Unless there's anything else. I know that to give you brethren an update again before I close out, I like to try to give a little geopolitical update on the world and what's going on. And it's a terrible thing. I don't have no good news. It's a very fast descent going on at this very moment to a very serious regional conflagration in the Middle East. I think anybody who even keeps up with it a little bit, you know what I'm saying. The latest is the situation over in Lebanon where Israel, you know what? I don't know how to say this, but I think those are the people of Matthew chapter 4. You brethren know what I'm talking about? Y'all know what happened in Matthew chapter 4, right? I'm talking about those people, A-Snap told me to say that. Those people, I'm talking about those people. I think they're the people in Matthew chapter 4. Y'all remember Matthew chapter 4? You know what happened, right? Remember, that's where Satan and Jesus, and he told Jesus, the kingdoms of the world have been given to me, and the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them have been given unto me, and I give them to whoever I want to, and I'll give it to you if you fall down and worship me. And it said Jesus did not do it. So that's telling you that somebody did do it. And I think it was those people. In other words, let me do it like this so I can drive the point home. let me just drive the hell out of the point home because I don't want you to miss it. Why do they wear black hats and white shirts and black clothing in Israel? I'm talking about these people, okay? All right? Because YouTube, they just dying for somebody to make a mistake. I think these are the people in Matthew chapter 4. I think these are the people in Matthew chapter 4. And part of the reason is because of how diabolical they can be. Now, for any of you who have been keeping up, that was a pretty ingenious demonic plan to blow up the pagers of the resistance organization that was fighting against them. It was nothing short of demonic genius to blow up a 2-part plan, a 1-2 punch to first blow up the pagers, and then when you think it's going to settle down now, to come back and blow up the walkie-talkies. See, I think that type of wisdom is from below. Mahalia says, our government is funding them, so they are responsible. Yeah, you right, Mahalia. You dead right, man. You just hit the stinking nail on the head, man. See? You see how we are? I don't mean to sound, it's that type of stuff that make you want to get the hell away from the earth, man. Knowing the creator, that's something that the creator is bringing something about, and that he lets things run their course, and that the other nations are saying things. I'm telling you, they saying things that ain't good. They talking things that ain't good, man. So I ain't trying to fearmonger. Man. I'm telling you, I'm just trying to share with y'all that we already, we have to consider. We have to. I think that we should think, man, about the Creator and decide how we're going to internalize what He has planned for this kingdom, and make prayers for us and our brethren. That's my only point in bringing this stuff out. So we're not immune from the actions of other spirits in the world, what they might decide to do to each other. It will spill over to us one way or another. I think one good solution is we got to keep coming together. We got to be together, man. We got to stay with each other. Stop the world. I want to get off. I think it's going to be well with Faithist. In my heart, I believe it's going to be well with Faithist. I think that's one way the Creator is. I could be wrong, but I tend to think He's going to take the Faithist and stand out. I know I recall reading in OAHSPE where He said He ain't going to let the world clown His people again. He had enough of that. He finished with that. Can't remember where it was. He said he all done with that, man. The world clowning, Uzians clowning, Faithist is somewhere. Dave, he probably know where it's at, but all right. So a good time to go ahead and finish the video to close it, and that's the best I can do for right now. So tomorrow I'll pick up again, Creator willing. Man, sure is good to see y'all. Thanks for checking in. Oh, Creator, Heavenly Father, thank you for this opportunity. Pray that you cover us with all the grace and mercy, and for our loved ones as well, or whatever is coming, whatever the days are going to bring us, that you strengthen us and give us endurance. And, well, thank you for the video and the brethren making it, and for the lesson. So, brethren, till I see you again, thank you for joining me. Peace be unto you. Shalom.